Hello folks, day number 4 at the Crest. Gonna buzz around kinda quick again. Today we had our first interment. Might go take you up there just to kind of see what the aftermath of that looks like. Outside of that, not much has changed. Today was largely filing paperwork and getting deeds put in order, making sure that the proper mailings were going out in regards to the new interment and whatnot. So at some point I'll have to figure out how to do quick reels throughout the course of the day to kind of show you what that looks like. It's actually a lot of cool stuff that I'd like to show you, so we may at some point change up the format or add a little bit of extra, 60 seconds something or another's here or on Facebook, I don't know. I don't want my primary occupation to be creating content, to be fair. So, yeah, I have a couple of things I'm looking forward to doing tomorrow, I think. One of those things is going to be taking an expedition down to one of our local tractor repair places and seeing if I can't get a new belt for the Toro. Last time we were mowing, belt snapped, and I haven't been able to get a replacement. So hopefully I can do a replacement on the Toro's belt for the weekend, and I'll afford us some time to get it working. I know there will be, I think, 2 of us mowing here. Sometime at the course of Saturday and Sunday, just to get things back into some semblance of normal. It's not really bad at any given point, but it's getting to that point all over, so probably start at the back this time and move towards the front. And ideally, it would be great if we had a couple of weed eaters out here too. Right now we have 2 functional mowers and 2 weed eaters. So in a perfect world, it would be great to have, 4 people come out, but work in progress, So anyway, here is our new interment today. Did a good job on the backfill, in my opinion. So in the next month or so, that's going to be settling back down in, and we'll have to keep an eye on it, keep it leveled off, and Memorial will be set down at some point. No worries. But that's that. You can see where they drive the excavator through. I was hoping to actually be able to be a little bit more present for that one. I mean, not that I'm needed. I think some people feel perhaps that it's an intrusion, so I don't like to be close to the action, but it's always nice to pay final respects to folks, especially as practically speaking, when there's Okay, they did shut this. Good deal. But practically speaking, you know, they have every funeral, every interment, what have you, is unique in its own way. But one thing that always stands out is loved ones will be present in attendance, often from places in the world far flung. And that first year, with, you know, in general, dealing with grief and loss and what have you, it's never easy, I don't think, for anyone. I'm just gonna very quickly take a look up over the hill here, make sure I didn't miss anything major this morning. But you know, you have to be a professional grief counselor to know. You just have to have lived through it. But that first little bit of time, everything's very fresh. Then after, 2 or 3 years, it becomes a little more bearable to carry on with daily life. You don't necessarily find yourself thinking about it on a regular basis, but from time to time, you know, something will remind you, and then you'll go back there for a little while. After, 5 or 6 years, it's more occasional. You need stimuli. Doesn't jump out of the dark and come get you as frequently. And after a decade, most people have managed to cope pretty well, where it's special occasions, birthdays, holidays, and you think about it, and it's not gut-wrenching anymore. It's just a fact. You can kind of say, yeah, X is X. That happened, And so, I feel to a certain degree, philosophically, it's important for someone in this capacity where they're supposed to be basically not caring for per se, but watching over, remembering the memorials of folks who have passed away. Yeah, you want to kind of bear that in a grain of salt. There will come a time in probably every eventuality where people won't remember. They'll stop coming to visit. No, I mean, in some cases, that's because those people who did visit themselves will pass away. But, it's a reality that eventually, even people who are notably notable, like Benjamin Franklin or something, eventually, the only people that really take care of those sites are those folks that are specifically in life to do so. So it's important, I think, to be there to pay respect, because ultimately, your task is to remember even after everyone else may have forgotten. So that's never easy, thinking about that type of thing. Oh dear. Well, interesting. I'll tell you what, you come back and actually clean that out properly. I have to leave it there because My hands are already full, and it is the type of thing that's going to need a little shovel, a little tool to get down inside of, I think. So much nicer after it rains, because then it's mud. But when it hasn't rained, it's been hot and dry. It's not mud. It's just clumpy, compacted earth that doesn't smell very nice. Anyway, so yeah, tomorrow I'm going to go on some adventures here and see if I can't get a new belt for the tractor. There's some other various things I think that are out there in the world that we need to start mowing on the weekend. Thankfully we got gas last week, so that's always a challenge. It's not too bad. I can just put all we have 10 5-gallon cans, and so you just stick them in the back of the Expedition. They're fun. But a downshot on that is you go to a gas station, you'll spend $300 and some odd dollars filling them up right now. So that's the struggle. It's called math. One of our biggest expenses out here is gas. The standard stuff that we keep running, like the electricity and the internet, and some subscriptions to things for office management. That's only $300 and some odd dollars when it's all said and done. I think we pay $78 a month for trash disposal, something like that. That's not too bad at all. What gets you is just the sheer quantity of gas and man hours that go into maintaining the lawn. That is the thing, crazily enough. So, and then there's some long-term projects, like we really want to get this road done. That's going to be one of our chief priorities here. Obviously, after winter sets in, it's not going to be a feasibility this year, and it's a budgetary thing too. Like as we sit and consider like where funding is going to be potentially available as we aim to be a non-profit organization and get some things set up. There's a lot of variables still, kind of open-ended questions in regards to that, but for the moment, at least, we are most probably not going to be funded this year, I would think, to redo the road. I know I've gotten quotes from asphalt folk in the past and whatnot, and honestly, I'm sure it's not unreasonable. I'm sure it's perfectly reasonable. But when you're dealing with this much roadway too, it's also perfectly reasonably challenging. From a financial management perspective. We did bring our price point down from where it had been recently. Try to get things more in line with how things are in other local cemeteries. Hopefully we'll be able to squeeze that a little bit further down, even just to get things I don't want to say that the reason to do that is to be price competitive. That's silliness. Not a lot of people, when they're passed away, very concerned about pricing. Although if it's way too high, then that's unreasonable. You don't want to put families into duress because a loved one passed away. Like, come on, let's make sure it's an attainable number with their life insurance, please. But anyway, that's where we're at. This is Clearfield Fair Week. I know that. Clearfield County Fair going on right now, so I'm also, aware that not everyone's available all of the time. People aren't going to necessarily be coming out this way, although maybe one or two people will be because, oh, we're in Clearfield again, you better go visit, So you get those too. But, so, we'll just get it put back into a better semblance of order here this weekend, and hopefully that'll be appreciated. And really roll things from there. There's a lot of technical legal things in our future. We got to get a lawyer out here to review the sales agreement proper and kind of say, yeah, this makes sense, no, this doesn't make sense, blah blah blah, sign off on it, and then, as I will perpetually remind you, we're still looking for 6 to 10 folk to take up the mantle and represent the cemetery as members of our preliminary board here as we go and pursue our Pennsylvania nonprofit status and ultimately our 501c13 status. Very interested in getting board members put in place as quickly as possible, because the application process for nonprofits with the IRS can take up to 6 to 8 months. So the sooner we get that in the till, the better off we'll be, So that's all I have for you today. Thanks for coming with me for our brief trot around the cemetery today. And as always, your feedback, your input, opinions, considerations, commentary, however you do, it's always appreciated, because I certainly don't think that I see everything or am aware of everything myself. So thank you for joining us again today on our 4th little update excursion as we fight for the crown.